Davening takeaway, Torah Ohr, Daf Ayin Aleph. In this daf, a very fascinating, powerful description of how our davening can be. It says on the second side of the page. Now I'm going to roughly go through the little piece of this because how powerful it is directly inside the Torah Ohr. It says that we, as a neshama, being clothed in a body and a nefesh bahamis, nefesh chiyunis, the animal soul, this living human soul that our godly soul is placed into. So it is in a state where it's confined. And it says that by way of his bonus, by way of meditating on the greatness, the greatness of the Ein Sof, just as the name is called Ein Sof, infinity or infinite one, so too Hashem is that infinity, infinite from the lowest levels to the upper levels. And when we meditate on all the amazingness from down here in this physical world, how infinite that the things that Hashem brought into is, and moving up the ladder, up the spiritual worlds, and how amazing and infinite and so quite amazing, it creates a desire and a strong yearning to jump out of this cover that we have of the body and the nefesh bahamis, and this is the description of what a Baal Tshuva is, that he has such a tremendous yearning to connect to Hashem, and not any level of Hashem, but connecting to Hashem himself above all levels, and through that he can reach the point of fulfilling what it says in Shema, v'ahavta, that we love Hashem with all our, with all our heart and all our soul, and to the point where it reaches b'chol meyodecha. B'chol meyodecha is going without bounds, going beyond the desire to connect to Hashem, even beyond our understanding, that even our soul can understand and grasp of Hashem. We just want to be with Hashem. And by doing that, we can then bring about a realization of being with Hashem himself in his essence, which is the goal of davening, and really the goal of being a yid, not removing ourselves from the world and not actually coming out of our body, but that yearning to do so creates a transformation where we can have a consciousness of that while we are still living in this world. And that ability was brought about through Matan Torah. It says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, that I am the Lord your God. The word Anochi represents the highest level of Hashem, and he is the one, as is expressed in the beginning of Matan Torah, the beginning of the Aseret Dibros, that he took us out of Egypt. Egypt is a confinement, something that confines and limits. And Hashem has given us the ability through the revelation of the highest level of Hashem to get out of all limitations, even limitations that he places us into, in order to connect with Hashem directly. Davening takeaway, Torah Ohr, Daf Ayin Aleph. We see a fascinating description talking about the Avos, our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and their accomplishment in being what's known as a vehicle, just like a vehicle takes its rider to places where it may not even be able to do on its own, so too the Avos were a vehicle, a Merkava, to elevate Hashem's midos, as Hashem had placed those midos, these are spiritual divine characteristics, and how they were created into all the things around us, and they were able to take those and return them and elevate them back to Hashem. So too we're the descendants of those Avos, and as we say early in the davening, before we actually start as a collective, Ki anu zera Avraham ayave, as it says here, this quote is here, Kain anachnu zera Avraham havecha v'nei Yitzchak chidai, etc. So we too have that same ability, or given that same ability, to elevate these things. And the quote in the Torah Ohr what this means by elevating into an aspect of bittul, an aspect of sublimation into Hashem himself. It says here, Hashem hagadula v'hagavura v'hativeres, etc., which is a part of the davening that we actually talk about in the middle of the Pesukei Zimra, as is mentioned in other takeaways, and how that now, instead of being midos, standalone midos, they are l'cha Hashem, meaning that they're batul, they're secondary, as it were, to Hashem, being included into Hashem and not taking on independent significance. And so we too then have that ability through our davening to do that elevation. And the davening itself is one of those ways. It says also through the Torah and doing mitzvahs, but davening has that ability as we climb that ladder in davening to sense those higher levels of Hashem's midos as they are included in Hashem himself going up.